May 1940. The British Expeditionary Force stood trapped, surrounded by an enemy closing in from all sides. 400,000 men with no way home. Abandoned helmets and rifles litter the wet sand, symbols of a desperate retreat. The Luftwaffe struck without mercy, turning the beach into the edge of hell. Low-flying Stuka bombers roar overhead, their menacing silhouettes against the pale sky. Sand erupts from powerful explosions, and every blast felt like the end. The air is thick with cinematic smoke and dust, creating a chaotic visual. A young British soldier clutches his rifle, shaking, his face etched with fear and exhaustion. Yet, even in fear, these soldiers held their ground. Burning ships on the horizon cast an ominous glow, reflecting in the dark, churning waters. Behind them, France had fallen. Ahead of them, only an empty sea, a vast expanse of uncertainty. The hope of rescue seemed impossibly distant. Yet in that darkness, a spark of courage began to rise. A quiet resolve formed amidst the chaos and despair. This is the story of Dunkirk, the impossible escape, a testament to human resilience and collective spirit.
Before the first light of sunrise could break the horizon, the terror of the German assault returned with brutal force. German Stuka bombers, formidable and menacing, dropped from the ominous sky like steel predators, their terrifying sirens screaming a chilling symphony of death into the soft, yielding sand. Men, desperate and disoriented, ran for cover across the open beach, though in that exposed landscape, true cover did not exist. The very ground beneath their feet shook violently with each explosion, a relentless tremor that echoed the chaos in their hearts. Offshore, ships, once symbols of hope, burned fiercely, their hulls engulfed in towering infernos against the dark horizon. Some soldiers fell where they stood, their bodies collapsing amidst the sand and the debris of war. Their fight abruptly ended. Others, despite the overwhelming fear, fought the primal instinct to flee, choosing instead to aid their comrades or stand their ground. In that deafening chaos and unimaginable horror, one stark truth became chillingly clear: Dunkirk would not be survived easily. But still, amidst the relentless bombardment and despair, they endured, clinging to hope and the promise of rescue.
To buy time for the evacuation, someone had to stand and fight. The French stepped forward, fully aware of what it meant. They held burning streets against overwhelming odds. Every second they resisted saved another life on the beach. They were not fighting for victory. They were fighting so the world would not forget them.
Thousands of hopeless soldiers, weary and defeated, stood stranded on the vast beaches of Dunkirk. Long queues stretched endlessly towards the churning sea, a desperate line of men hoping for an impossible escape. Each moment was a test of their resolve. Amidst the chaos, a young boy, barely a man, found a quiet moment to write a last letter home, his hand trembling with emotion. Men waited, silent, exhausted, unsure if rescue would ever come. Their eyes, filled with a mixture of fear and faint hope, scanned the distant horizon. But then, a faint shadow appeared on the horizon. A ship, small but real. Hope returned to Dunkirk like a rising tide. The Royal Navy pushed forward despite relentless enemy fire, their majestic warships cutting through the tumultuous waves. The air was thick with the acrid smell of gunpowder and the roar of cannons, a symphony of destruction echoing across the vast, unforgiving ocean. Every approach was a gamble, a desperate chess move on a liquid battlefield. Commanders weighed the lives of their men against the strategic imperative, knowing that a single miscalculation could spell doom for an entire fleet. Every hit, a disaster. Splintered wood and twisted metal flew through the air as enemy shells tore through hulls, unleashing chaos and despair. The sea itself seemed to boil with the fury of the conflict. Ships meant for rescue, once symbols of hope and salvation, turned into burning wrecks, their masts collapsing into fiery infernos. The cries of the wounded mingled with the crackling flames, a grim testament to the battle's ferocity. Yet more destroyers came, knowing the cost, accepting the danger. These brave vessels, though smaller, plunged into the fray, their crews resolute, their mission clear to turn the tide against overwhelming odds. Sacrifice became the price of hope, etched into the very fabric of the waves. Their unwavering courage ensured that the Royal Navy's legacy of dominance would endure, a beacon of strength against the tempest of war.
And then, the miracle began. Amidst the chaos of war, a desperate plea for rescue echoed across the English Channel. Civilian boats, small, fragile, never meant for war, set out across deadly waters. From fishing trawlers to pleasure yachts, a diverse armada gathered. Fishermen, Sailors, fathers and sons, ordinary people answered an extraordinary call. They left their homes, driven by courage and a profound sense of duty. These brave volunteers navigated treacherous seas, braving enemy fire and the constant threat of aerial attacks. Their resolve was unwavering. They reached the stranded soldiers on the beaches of Dunkirk, ferrying them from the shallow waters to larger naval vessels. Every trip was a risk. This was no conventional fleet. It was a spontaneous, heartfelt response from a nation. Over 338,000 Allied soldiers were evacuated. This was a nation refusing to let its soldiers die alone, demonstrating an incredible spirit of unity and sacrifice. The Dunkirk spirit was born. The evacuation, though a retreat, became a symbol of resilience and hope. It showed the world the power of ordinary people in extraordinary times.
When the little ships reached the shore, hope became real. Men who had accepted death felt life return. Tears mixed with sand as they climbed aboard. These tiny boats carried more courage than any warship. They ferried men towards safety, one trip at a time. The escape had begun.
In the desperate days of Dunkirk, the Luftwaffe launched relentless attacks, determined to crush the Allied evacuation. But the Royal Air Force, with its iconic Spitfires, rose to meet the challenge, answering the call to protect the retreating forces. Spitfires soared into the battle-torn skies, often outnumbered by the enemy, yet never outmatched in their resolve. They fought with incredible precision and unwavering purpose, each maneuver a testament to their skill and courage. Every enemy plane they forced back, every aerial victory they secured, directly saved countless men on the water below. These brave pilots faced immense danger, and tragically, many never returned from their perilous missions. Their extraordinary courage and sacrifice were instrumental, keeping the miracle of Dunkirk alive against overwhelming odds. The RAF Spitfires played a pivotal role, ensuring the survival of thousands and altering the course of World War II.
As thousands escaped, the last defenders remained. French soldiers held the final line, knowing their fate was sealed. They stood in the ruins of Dunkirk, fighting for the lives of men already safe. Their sacrifice allowed the final boats to depart. History would remember their courage.
In the spring of 1940, as the German forces advanced rapidly through France, hundreds of thousands of Allied soldiers found themselves trapped on the beaches of Dunkirk. The situation was dire. A desperate plea for rescue echoed across the English Channel, leading to an unprecedented civilian effort. When the boats reached England, after days of perilous crossings and relentless bombardment, the impossible had become real. It was a monumental achievement, far exceeding all expectations. Not 10,000, not 50,000, but 338,000 men survived. Dunkirk was not a victory of weapons or military might, but a profound victory of courage. It was a victory of unity, a testament to the indomitable spirit of ordinary people who refused to surrender to fear. This was not merely a rescue operation. It was a profound and unforgettable miracle. The miracle of Dunkirk, a beacon of hope in humanity's darkest hour, forever etched in history.
Join us on a journey through epic historical narratives that will captivate and inform. Subscribe to our channel for more epic historical stories.